Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Live Dharma. This is Qi Gong. Today is June 12, 2022. We have friends joining us in person this morning. Linda, Tom, Shane, Carrie, Shirley, Joe, Carol, and we have stream team members. It's so nice. A cool day. Actually, it's 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we are going to have 2 days Children's Dharma Camp this Tuesday and Wednesday. Wish us a good luck in the coming heat wave. Today, our Dharma brother, Nate, is going to share his contemplation on a Wadu Koan. How can we recognize the karmic consequences of our past lives when we no longer remember our past lives? How is the karma we accumulate in this life passed on to future lives? Looking forward to it. First, as a part of a meditation, let us loosen tension through Qi Gong practice, guided by Lars. Please stand up.
Good morning, friends. Let's get started with a little short warm-up. First, let's warm up our ankles. Rotate your ankles on the ball of your foot in one direction change directions. Make it crack like mine do. Just get them loosened up. Just change to the other ankle. Change directions, warm it up. Okay, let's warm up our knees. Let's touch our knees. We're going to be a little bit slightly bent. Let's rotate our knees into one direction, slowly and gently. The other direction. Now let's do the opposite. It's like you're stirring a pot. And change directions there. Okay, next, let's come up. Our hands come on our hips. Let's loosen up our hips. Rotate them into one direction. Starting out slow. Gradually making them bigger. Circles. Stop. Reverse. Other direction. Big circles. Slowly making them smaller. Now let's look at our wrists and our hands. Let's warm up our wrists. Just rotate our wrists into one direction. Reverse, different direction. Now our arms below our elbow. Just rotate those one direction. Different direction. Now spread our arms. Let's rotate our arms. Starting out slow, making the circles bigger and bigger. Reverse. Starting out slow. Making the circles bigger. Okay, we should be all warmed up by now. Let's make sure our feet are hip-width apart. Let's breathe in. Breathe out. Let's open our hips to one direction. The back arm scoops the energy up. Comes up right to our face. We breathe out and we scoop the energy towards the other hand. Moving our hips towards the other direction. Now the other arm becomes the back arm, scoops up the energy. Breathe in. And when we return the energy forward, we breathe out. Breathe in. Scoop the energy. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now let's form an energy ball right in front of our dantian. Doesn't matter which hand is up or down. Just breathe in, deep dantian breathing. Breathe out. Breathe in, fill the energy and feel it. And breathe out. Crunch the energy. Breathe in. Let's slowly rotate our hands around the energy ball. Breathe out. Continue the rotation. Breathe in. Rotate it back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Expand the energy. We raise our top hand up and say hello. Breathe out, squeeze the energy back into a tiny ball. Breathe in, rotate the energy ball. Breathe out. Expand the energy ball, the energy into the other hand. Breathing in. Breathing out, crunching the energy back into a tiny ball. Breathe in, rotate the energy ball. Breathe out. Breathe in, we expand the energy and say hi to the earth. Breathe out, we turn the energy into a ball. Breathe in, rotate the ball. Breathe out, complete the rotation. Breathe in, say hello to the earth with the other arm. Breathe out, turn the energy back into the ball. Return, squeeze the energy ball back around each other. Breathing out. Breathing in, we pinch into the energy and we stretch the energy. Breathe out, return the energy back into the ball. Breathe in, rotate. Breathe out. Pinch the energy. Breathe in. And breathe out. Return the energy back into a ball. Breathe in. Rotate. And breathe out. Let's loosen up. Let's check it out. Going from side to side, taking deep breaths, shaking out all our worries. Okay, let's stop. Our arms come to our sides. We're breathing in, palms facing up. We're breathing in, all above our head. Our palms join together. We're breathing out. Come to our third eye, breathing in. Slowly moving our palms closer to our heart center. Breathing out. Breathing in. Bringing our arms closer to our body, all the way down. Breathe out. Bring the energy into the ground. Breathe in. Join our palms together. Breathe out. Bring it all the way to our heart center. Breathe in. And breathe out. Thank you. Now please join us in bowing practice to the Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guide us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. Meditation is simple and easy. Anyone can practice it. Take time to find your most comfortable position on the floor or in a chair. Wiggle to release any tension in your body. Rock front to back or side to side until you find the point of perfect balance. Breathe in, grab all your tension. Breathe out, release any mental or physical uneasiness. Relax your whole body. It is okay to slouch a little bit if that feels more natural. Just remember to let your mind's eye focus on belly breathing. Breathe and listen to your body. If your body agrees, gradually sit up tall, gently straighten your spine without losing focus on the energy in your lower abdomen. You may start to feel your lower back growing stronger and your chest and heart opening. Open your eyes softly. Look straight ahead with a level gaze. Without moving your head, let your eyelids relax and drift downward. While keeping your ears softly aligned with your shoulders, tuck your chin in slightly and let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Now bring your awareness to your tongue. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. While your tongue is relaxed on your palate, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. This is a delightful sign of cool energy ascending. Smile at your calm and clear spirit. Invite your awareness to return to your lower abdomen, your Qi energy field. This is called the Donjon and located about 2 inches below your navel. Your Donjon is the power center for your breathing. Scan your entire body to see if there's any tension, especially in your face and head, neck and shoulders. If your face or body begins to itch, just note the itching. It will pass on its own. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly. Maintain a calm stillness. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be disturbed by them. Do not react to them or pursue them. They are just thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. When your mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused and at peace, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation. You will no longer feel any distinction between yourself and others, finding yourself free from the limits of time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, deeply aware of our ever calm, ever alert spirit. 영주 전지영이하신다 원사유일하신다 전지여와동일지하여 전지동심정 전지영이하신다 원사유일하신다 전지여와동일지하여 전지동심정 전지영기하심정 원사요해하심정 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 전지여와동일지하여 전지동심정.
Prayer for world peace. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. O Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, may we take refuge in Dharma and be filled with compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and may all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living in their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts.
Heart Sutra. Practicing prajna paramita, realize that all five aggregates are empty, and thus became free from all suffering and distress. The Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness Space does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. In emptiness, no form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of fire, no sound, body, or mind consciousness, no ignorance nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death nor extinction of death, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva relies on Prajnaparamita, therefore the mind has no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Freed from delusion, one dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on Prajnaparamita and obtain supreme enlightenment. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassed and unequal mantra, which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is true, not false, so proclaim the Prajnaparamita mantra, which says, gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awaken. Gate, gate, para, gate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, para, gate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, para, gate, parasamgate, bodhisattva.
I'm Harry.
I'm Debbie. We're in Greensboro, and hi everyone at the temple.
Harry, anything you want to say?
I think I already said that, but hello everyone from Greensboro.
Thank you.
Today, our Dharma friend Nate Jackson, Won Jae-sun, will share his Dharma talk titled The Koan of Uncle Ralph. Let us welcome Nate.
Good morning. My name is Nate. My Dharma name is Won Jae-sun. In a sense, this service began for me on Thursday morning when I went to Trader Joe's to buy these flowers, knowing that I would get to bring them to Reverend WontempleNC and she would do something magical with them. The title of my talk is The Koan of Uncle Ralph. In January this year, Reverend WontempleNC sent 20 koans to Dharma name holders, suggesting we each pick one for contemplation and discussion. I chose one on reincarnation. Historically, this concept had troubled me, and I wanted to see where I was with it now and to get our Reverend's perspective. Here's my koan. In our present lives, we can recognize the karmic consequences of our actions. How can we recognize the karmic consequences continuing from our past lives when we no longer remember our past lives? How is the karma we accumulate in this life passed on to future lives? She and I met a month later, and I shared what had arisen for me, then asked her, "What does this mean to you?" She said, "I don't think it's supposed to have a specific meaning. It's an invitation to enter into a discussion with yourself." I said, "Well, that's not really an answer." She thought that was funny and added, "I like what you had to say. Why don't you use it to give a short talk?" Well, that wasn't really an answer either. But I had wondered why passages in the scriptures that mention past lives used to bother me. When I began coming to the temple 9 years ago, I was thoroughly embedded in the scientific, materialist model of existence, which said, by my lights, no one had ever died and lived to tell about it, so anything about past lives was speculation, being given a credibility that was not justified. But so what? Why the tantrums? Why was I not coming from a neutral place and just curious? I think because I was attached to being right, just a little. I'd invested being right with the power to diminish or aggrandize me, to affirm or repudiate. I'd so thoroughly mixed my beingness with my beliefs that I could no longer distinguish one from the other. At that time, the only self of which I was clearly aware was the conceptual egoic self. That one cared intensely about being right and experienced being wrong as an anxious loss of self-esteem. So when one of my beliefs got challenged, it seemed as though I myself was being threatened, almost physically threatened, as I would get flooded with adrenaline. But as someone once asked me, "Where's your dog in this fight?" I now think of this defensiveness as a sort of psychosis, being disconnected from reality, reality being my true self, and believing I shared my being with a concept. I used to think nobody should assert something as true if it could not be proven. And for me, proof existed only in the material world. But our discussion today is not about the material world. The scriptures say, all things are the mind's creation, which is true. But here, we are not talking about things. We are not talking about subject-object relationship. This is about subject, my deep self, without object, prior to objects, pure beingness. Of course, ego would happily attach to being right about reincarnation and defend that position. So even when considering sublime topics, it helps to be mindful. It's okay to let the mind ask the question. Just don't let the mind answer it. The koan begins, In our present lives, we can recognize karmic consequences of our actions. I do recognize karmic consequences quite a lot these days. I can see how my practice has changed my demeanor, and I can see how that has increased the love and connection in my life. But I imagine I miss most of whatever complex karmic consequences I may be generating throughout the day. Sometimes I have found out years later that something I was barely aware of having said or done had a profound impact on someone else. So if I'm unaware of most of the karmic consequences I'm generating in this life, unaware of this web of connectivity, how could I hope to recognize karmic consequences from past lives, to recognize karmic connections within the very consciousness out of which this present life was formed? Which brings me to Uncle Ralph. Ralph was good to me. Growing up, he taught me to sail and took me on many sailing adventures. After he and my aunt divorced, he would sometimes invite me over to his apartment for dinner. He kept up with me during college years and afterwards when I moved to another city. But as a young adult, I began to hear stories about his alcoholism and the pain this had caused my aunt and cousins. During family gatherings, I began to notice there was anxiety in the air whether he would start drinking. Gradually, I formed judgments against Ralph for his alcoholism. I began to think less of him and started to keep my distance, even though I was fond of him. He died in a car crash 15 years ago, killed by a drunk driver. I think of him occasionally with happy memories of what he gave me and the colorful character that he was. With the development of my Buddhist practice, I was able to see my judgments toward my uncle more clearly, and I felt regret that I had withheld expressing my genuine fondness for him, regret that I may have added to his guilt and isolation. 16 months ago, my daughter delivered twin boys, Corey and Reed. Just a few months ago, I noticed a fleeting expression cross Corey's face, and I thought, oh my God, that's Ralph. I had an immediate wave of awe and gratitude, sensing I was being given an opportunity to repay a debt. That possibly in loving and caring for this baby, I would be loving and caring for Ralph. So now I enjoy talking to Corey as if he's Ralph come for a visit. When I'm playing with him or feeding him, sometimes I say, "Thank you, Ralph, for all that you did for me." I enjoy seeing the possibility that my uncle's formlessness has found expression in the form of this baby. I don't know if that's true, but it makes for a richer experience and has opened me to another layer of wonder over our interconnectedness. Recently, I heard a whirlpool analogy for reincarnation that spoke to me. Imagine we are all whirlpools in a river. We are made entirely of the water, but each of us exists as our own temporary contained whirl of energy, separate from the flow of the river. When my time on earth comes to a close, my whirlpool gradually loses its integrity and rejoins the flow of the river. But what if there are residual, unresolved bits of swirling energy from my whirlpool? Then, when another whirlpool forms downstream, might it incorporate some of my residual energy, some still contracted piece of consciousness that had not reached full resolution as a me or as a Ralph, which now gets to continue on its journey toward ultimate dissolution in the flow of pure consciousness. I had no sense that the original Ralph had been recreated for a second run. Nothing to imply that anyone was being rewarded or punished, just continuing on the path toward awakening. Consciousness, working out the kinks as Ralphs and Nates and newborn babies in an unimaginable display of complexity, connectedness, and beauty. On the relative material level, this similarity would be explained by genetics, but perhaps that is similar to learning the names of things. That's a pine tree, that's a leaf, that's a robin. thus moving from a direct, unfiltered experience into a conceptual world. Useful, but perhaps losing some of the awe and joy of it. Now, as part of my practice, I mindfully remove labels to be fully present with the experience of pine tree, leaf, robin. So if I see this experience of Ralph as genetics and stop there, might I close off less filtered ways of experiencing this phenomenon? Might I see the similarity to Ralph, but miss the reappearance, and thus miss the love and gratitude I feel when I recognize my uncle and my grandbaby, miss the wonder of a profound, intelligent aliveness connecting them? I think it's fair to assume that the actuality of transferring karma after the death of the body, if that's what happens, is prodigiously more rich and alive than any concept. But then, isn't that the point of the koan? To allow the thinking mind to crash into the deeper truth that's being pointed at, but which is beyond conception. So the koan stands like a beacon on an island of rock. Over and over, the mind sends out its tightly wound concepts to crash upon its shore. In this way, a koan can be a belief buster. Who are you going to call? Belief busters. When I asked Reverend WontempleNC what the koan meant, she did not give me a definitive answer. She said it was an invitation into a discussion with myself. Do I believe in the scientific view of reincarnation? Do I believe in the Buddhist view of reincarnation? Either belief feels confining to me. If I hold a belief, I generally want the world to agree with me. And when it don't, there's going to be trouble. What if I can just be open and stay in the question without landing on an answer? How does that feel? For me, it feels untroubled, not needy, relaxed, spacious. Koans are designed to confound answers, designed to create turbulence for the logical mind. And when the turbulence becomes intolerable or exhausts itself, there can be surrender, and with surrender comes peace. I received this koan in January, duly considered it, and called Reverend WontempleNC in February to set up a time to share my reflections. I enjoyed this process so much that as we were wrapping up, I told her I'd like to do another one. She paused and then said delicately, I was surprised to hear from you so soon. This was meant to be your koan for the year, not for a month. Why don't you keep this one and come back next year? No, well, thank you. I am complete.
Thank you so much, Nate, for so kindly and vividly sharing with us, belief-busting koan meditation and contemplation experience, and your reflections on reincarnation. I think the idea of our lives as whirlpools of energy is really refreshing and clarifying. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. And thank you, friends at home, for your focused listening. You're welcome now to leave your comment about Nate's Dharma Talk and the wisdom he shared with us in the live chat, or you're welcome to share it if there's a person sitting next to you, or you're welcome to just sit quietly in reflection for a few moments. Friends here in the Dharma Hall, this is a time for you all to pair up and to share your own thoughts about what you've considered from Nate's talk this morning.
Yeah, you said that I was listening. feels like analogous to like just breathing into my chest versus like when I ask a question, it's almost like can you it's like it doesn't feel like it's really coming from my mind. It feels like I'm breathing in a whole body. That's like that's what I yeah, that makes sense. I feel there's, you didn't say this, but in my meditation, there's like results, but it's I've never done this, so it seems like more like yeah. It seems interesting.
Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 10 a.m. If you're in the area this afternoon at the Raleigh Temple at 5 o'clock, there's in-person meditation. And now we are going to end our morning by transitioning to walking meditation. So folks here in the Dharma Hall, folks at home, as you're able, please stand up and gently one foot in front of the other. Tanjong breathing. Let's walk.
you